Hi, second grade, it's Mrs. Lane. Today's video, you get to watch me and Judy clock. Today we're going to talk about patterns on the clock involving the hour hand. Let's start, for example, at 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, you know that that hour hand is right at the 4. Any o'clock time, that hour hand, the little hand, is going to be pointing right at the hour number. Now, as the hour passes, watch what happens to the hour hand. Watch what happens to the little hand. Do you see it moving? As the hour goes by, that hour hand is always moving. So let's talk about what pattern we see on the hour hand. If we are, for example, at the time 4:30, okay, you will notice that because it's halfway around the clock, halfway to the next hour, that hour hand is right in the middle of the 4 and the 5. The hour started at 4 o'clock, and now it's moving towards the next hour, 5 o'clock. So anytime that hour hand is right in the middle of two numbers, it's probably close to a 30-minute time. In this case, 4:30. Remember Mrs. Lane saying when the littles in the middle go back? Well, when that little hand, the hour hand's in the middle of two numbers, we go backwards, and that's the current hour. So as we continue around the clock, that hour hand is getting closer to the next hour. Watch again as we go from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. That hour hand is constantly moving closer and closer to the next hour. We're at 4:30, that hour hand's in the middle, and back up to 5 o'clock, that hour hand is pointing right at the 5. Now, one tricky thing with the hour hand is when you have a time that is very close to the next hour. For example, right now my clock is reading what time? If you were thinking 4:55, you are correct. At first you might think, well, that's 5:55, but let's think about the pattern of the hour hand. That hour hand is almost at the 5. It's a little hard to tell, but it's almost at the 5. It might look like it's right at the 5, but not quite yet, because we know, looking at our minute hand, it's almost at an o'clock. It's almost at 5 o'clock. So if it's just 5 minutes before, it can't be 5:55 if it's almost at 5 o'clock. It has to be 4:55. So just looking at that hour hand, when that hour hand is right before the hour, when it's right before the hour, it is almost the next hour. So right now it's almost 5 o'clock. If I moved it and I put it right before the 4, almost near the 4, right until it gets to the 4, it must be almost 4 o'clock, probably like 3:55. So today our hour hand has showed us lots and lots of patterns. So I want you to watch that hour hand carefully, especially when you're drawing hands on the clock or looking at the hour hand and deciding where is it. Okay, remember when the littles in the middle go back? That hour hand is very, very important. So make sure you're looking at it carefully when reading the clock.